Okay, so we're back again, and this time we're going to build a Steam box, but with a 5060 Ti 16 gig. Now, if you watch the last video, you see I did it with a 9060 XT AMD card, and that whole machine was like Team Red. It was an AMD processor, it was an AMD graphics card. Now, this is a mixture. It's NVIDIA and it's an Intel chip. I'll get into the system in a minute, but I just thought it's an interesting, if you want to build a Steam box with a PC, you're either AMD or NVIDIA with the cards, aren't you? I'm not sure if it makes a huge amount of difference with the processor. So here we go. We're going to launch into Bazzite. Obviously, that's the way we're going to go. We can't install default, Steam Deck recovery image on one of these systems. It just won't work at the moment. Well, the 9060 won't work. Some of the other ones will. So if you've got like a 5000 series card or a 6000 series AMD card, you can do it. So, okay, so this is the system. What it is, it's a Dell. It's a Dell 8960 I got hold of. It's like second hand. i7-13700 chip. It's got a 5060 in it. It's got 16 gig of RAM. It's got an NVMe. You can sort of buy these brand new now for like 900 quid and then add a card. So it's not huge expensive. I don't think it's second hand cheap. Anyway, so let's install Bazzite. Same routine as before. Go through all the steps here. Just install it now. What you have to be really aware of with this is you have to make sure you download the Bazzite NVIDIA image to do this install. If you don't do that, it'll go wrong. And I've got the deck image. There's two versions. There's the desktop one, and then there's the deck image, which is what we're doing here. Because basically the whole aim of the game here is to build a gaming computer for your TV. I'm not building one for a desktop. We want something to like rival the PS5. Just turn it on and play it, basically. So yeah, so we're going to go through some rebooting. The BIOS on this is basically the whole loop process from the 9060 XT. It's a different motherboard, but you'll get the big Dell spinning thing come up, and everything works exactly the same. It's exactly the same install process, the ridiculously long cargs update, all this kind of stuff. And then eventually, here we go, another big reboot, back in again. We'll get to the desktop at some point. What have we got? Another bit here. I'll log into Steam first of all. But with this, it's going to speed up in a second, you do have to do, it's not as clean as installing on an AMD card. You do have to do a bit of tweaking because it's NVIDIA. And the Bazzite guys have done an amazing job getting Steam working with, basically Steam working with NVIDIA cards. But there are a few things you just need to be aware of, especially if you're using this setup on a television, but in any setup. So here we go, into Bazzite. And then go through your install process, all this sort of business. It may vary, I don't know, depending on the image. I think some of them jump straight into the desktop mode, and you do the same thing on desktop. But the end of the result is you'll have Steam in games mode. Oh, yeah, it's going to do this. I sped this up. This is downloading bits in the background. Here we go. And then we're into Bazzite. Again, a lot of rebooting. You'll get there. And you're in. Get in with your QR code, and this is it. So this is what you have to do afterwards. Now, go to the desktop mode and basically launch Steam. You may be greeted if you're in the big mode, if you're like games mode, you may get like really bad tearing and it's really sluggish. Anyway, so go into the settings, go into interface, and switch on enable GPU acceleration and enable hardware video decoding. If you need to have these on, otherwise the entire display is really sluggish and everything like this. This is NVIDIA only. And then obviously whilst you're in here, don't worry about that. Downloads, make sure you've got your allowed background processing of Vulkan shaders. And then what else? Is anything else in here we need to do? No, restart that. Well, I've got it switched on already. It should do a restart, but also do system updates as well. And then we'll get to when we launch into games mode. There's a little bit. So yeah, so make sure those two are flicked on. And do that. I'm going to quit out. Top grade success. And then we're going to look at this. This is brand new, just come out. It's a new store that they've got. It's called Bazzite, I think, because we used to have, what was the old finder called? Can't remember. It was Discovery, but now it's like a really nice store thing, all very focused on gaming and bits and bobs like that. Very Bazzite. A Sonic Robot 2, but it's got all the things. You've got OBS, all these bits and bobs. I'll do a video about how to install DaVinci Resolve after this one. It's very, very simple with Bazzite, actually. I've written loads of scripts to do it on every other installation on the planet, every other distro, but for Bazzite it's like super simple. It's crazy simple. Anyway, so yeah, so that's your installed things. You can delete them, update them. Really cool update. And then we're going to launch into gaming mode, and they have a little bit of work here to do. If you're using an NVIDIA card and you set games mode or game scope, whatever it's called, above a resolution of, now if you're probably installing on a 4K monitor, above 2560 by 144 or 1440p, the screen will just disintegrate. So what you need to do, here I'll show you, you go into display and make sure, I've got it because I'm doing it on a TV, my TV won't take it, I'm doing it in that 1920 by 60. Now that's only this display, okay, that's only this bit. So then you scroll down, because you don't want all the games to play at this, you want, there you go, and then maximum game resolution, you will set that at 4K. So what happens is the interface will be at this resolution, or the Steam interface, and it won't explode. And make sure you turn off HDR as well, okay. But when you play a game, you can do whatever resolution you wish. So when I hook this up to the TV, it obviously won't do 1440 because that's like not a normal resolution for television. Some will do it. All the normal stuff in here, so you can go into, you know, you can put the frame limit to 60 Hertz because the TV 60. You can disable the frame limit. I think I'm going to do that just so you can show you, but all the standard stuff. So yeah, so there you go, disable frame limit. But you know, you can do all sorts of stuff. You can actually, you know, if you set the display to 4K and then the games to, you know, it'll scale for you, but you have to do it this way on NVIDIA. This doesn't happen on AMD, but if you don't set it to 1920 by 1080 or 1440, you'll get the screen to disintegrate. Anyway, here we go, benchmarks. And the first one we're going to do, I believe, it's a really old favourite, Run Through Tomb Raider. Now, I varied it a little bit when I've done this. I'll get through the stupid Vulkan shader element of it. I think that I may even try to skip that. Probably not going to let me do it. But here we are, we're in. So on this, because it's an older game, what resolution I'm going to set it to? I'm going to set that to 1440. I mean, the 5060 Ti, I'm going to go big. Oh, it went big, I think. Brilliant. Okay, trying 4K. These 5060 Ti and the 9060 XT are really about 1440p gaming. They can do UHD or 4K, but it's a stretch. You'll get much better performance in this 1440 area, both of them. Now the big thing, because it's an NVIDIA card, you know, it's like, you'll see in a minute, it's all over the shop with support for various functionalities. Some things work, some things don't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to run it on custom, absolutely maxed out on everything, and see what it does. Display, yeah, 4K, and see what it does. So we'll run through this. I've done this on the, you know, I did this on the 9060 XT. I mean, it's a great test. Tomb Raider, I don't know why. Tomb Raider is a really good test. It's sort of like not super stressful. It doesn't last for ages, but it does. And the game's available, interestingly, on a Mac as well. But it's still, it's not silicon based. If it was silicon, it'd be a great benchmark tool. If you look at some of the other videos, it's really hard to compare Mac silicon with anything else. But the guys at 3D Mark have just released some benchmarks that you can, and it literally shows how appalling silicon is for gaming. It's just atrocious compared to these cards. So yeah, so they've got the ecosystem for content creation, but gaming, the Macs are just atrocious because the 3D Mark thing's actually Apple native silicon. So there's no mucking around. You can't, and it's the same test you can run on a, you know, on an AMD card, an NVIDIA card, I did a comparison video, and it's literally both of these cards trounce an M3 Mac on graphics performance. Obviously, a bit different when it comes to like dealing with, you know, ProRes and all that sort of business. But yeah, so this is dead steady 60. It's a whole nice steady 60 frames per second, 4K maximum settings. Great, you know, can't ask for more, can you? Yeah, this setup's a little bit of a different one. I wanted to have a look at the 5060. I mean, I'll be using my 9060 XT on the telly. That'll be the one I'll be using. I won't be using this. My son will be using this. This is the machine that became my son's, and I'll take the SSD out of this and put another one in, and it'll be a Windows machine because he just plays Windows and does VR, and he gets the 5060. But yeah, so I mean, but I just thought it'd be interesting to see an Intel chip and a NVIDIA card being used on Bazzite. I mean, who knows? One day soon they may release a version of Steam that you can actually use on NVIDIA and on AMD, and we won't need Bazzite, even though it's brilliant. But yeah, I mean, I think if the 9060, if Bazzite gets, not Bazzite, if Steam gets an update to, I think it's, it needs a Mesa 25.14, then I might be able to get the 9060 running in pure Steam, and then I'll be doing that. You know, I've written a script to try and install DaVinci Resolve on Arch Linux. I've never really tested it because I didn't have an NVIDIA card. It's really hard to get AMD drivers on it. Anyway, that's another project that I'll get. Here we go. Look, it's just floating around 60, 62. Yeah, easily, perfectly playable. I mean, because this will be used on a television, 60 is the optimum frame rate. Anything beyond 60 is a waste of frames, really, if you think about it, because the TV, my 4K TV, can only supply 60 frames per second on the screen because it's a 60 hertz refresh rate. It's weird. My TV is 50 hertz anyway. So, okay, let's have a quick look. What did we do? 59. Can't ask for more than that. Well, you can. You could ask for one more frame, couldn't you? And get 60. Anyway, let's come out of that. And what did I do next? I think I did Cyberpunk. Now, on some of the games, you've got basically, on Bazzite, they work really well. On Proton, basically, they do, and this is one of them. I don't know why, some games sort of stumble around it. Look on this. So basically, they've got this at 1440. I'm going to set this up for literally everything you can chuck at it. So I'm going to have to tap around on this, but basically, auto DLSS, 4 times frame gen, everything's on maximum. I figured out I could do a setting here in a minute. Hang on, I'll jump back. Don't need to switch all those on because you can just do it at the top. There we go. That's it. Ray tracing ultra overdrive. Everything on there. 4 times frame gen, 1440, and basically you'll see what this can do. Is only certain games they seem to be able to take full advantage of everything. You know, I don't know. They. Maybe Proton or maybe something internally, I don't know, but some of the games can't quite, like Doom Dark Ages is one of them. It can't quite, and you'll see another one. I think I've got another game on here that just can't work properly with Proton, I don't think, with that 190 frames a second. So that's obscene. Obviously for quality I could just back down and everything there. I don't need to do 4 times frame gen, and I don't need to do I could, obviously with the DLSS, I could change that, bring it down to about 60. Or, I mean, I could actually run the game probably with those settings easily at 4K. So you got that, you got a lot of leg room to change it for Cyberpunk with the 5060 Ti. How much RAM is it using? RAM 7. GPU VRAM is 6. So plenty of space. It's interesting, this machine's only got 16 gig of RAM. I don't know how much difference that'll between this and the 32 on the other machine. Makes a lot of difference in games. I think a lot of the game stuff now is all about the VRAM. There we go. That's a crazy speed. 185 frames a second. There we go. Yep, 200 frames a second. Crazy. Everything's on though. Everything's on. You know, so you can back that down to get it better visually, and get it to 60 frames a second. So let's come out of that. What have we got next after this? I think, what did I do after this one? So I'm just voiceovering this on the tablet. Here we are, Doom. So yeah, so this is, look, okay, first of all you get this wrong driver, so we need to get a later driver, but you can play it. This is probably why it's not working properly with frame gen and all sorts of stuff in here going on. This sort of like really misbehaves. It works fine on the 9060 now, but it really misbehaves on this. It's like black screening, all sorts of weird stuff going on. I'm sure they'll get there with it, and I'm sure like Bazzite will catch up with the driver versions for this. You know, but at the moment, you know, it's one of the takeaway from this really for me is it's very flaky. It's flaky. This isn't as solid and doesn't feel as complete as the AMD version. So the NVIDIA version doesn't feel as sort of stable to me. Lots of mini glitches on these games, lots of weird things. Look, so we go to settings, and let's go to have a look at that. So what are we on? 1440. Now I'm going to run it on FSR, because when I run this on DLSS it loses the plot. So FSR, thankfully, you can run it on NVIDIA and AMD, probably Intel cards. Path tracing's off. The moment you put that on, everything explodes. So let's just run it on that. You'll see. Let's go to one of the benchmarks they've got built in now. Let's do, what are we going to do? Spire of whatever. And these are quite long, but it's really clever that they put this in there, because benchmarks are a brilliant way to get like stealth coverage of your game, because people like me use them all the time. You know, and basically you get every video being made and benchmarking something, you're showing off the game again to somebody who hasn't potentially purchased it yet. Yeah, good graphics in this. I haven't played it all the way through. You know, it's not like the other Dooms. It's got a whole different thing going on with the whole shield business, but I'm sure it's great. You know, when I get there, I will give. I mean, I spent the money on it. I just I didn't have the time. But you can see, look at that, 90 frames per second. Easily coping with it. And that was on absolutely everything maxed. FSR, I mean, I don't know, this isn't DLSS, is it? I mean, this is an NVIDIA card, but I'm using FSR on it. I think I'll show you in a minute. I try and turn on DLSS, and it absolutely grinds. I think it black screens. But yeah, there's a driver update or something needs to happen for this to work properly. It works great, even though I don't think FSR 4 is working on the AMD card. But I mean, yeah, it works great on the AMD. But similar issues. It's got things you can't switch on, basically. Yeah, a lot of it's to do with the ray tracing element. I mean, you don't really have that with the AMD card. There we go. Whoever comes up with these levels is obviously a very disturbed person. And look at it. It's like someone's worst nightmare. Isn't it? It's like some gothic horror gone wrong. Fantastic. Look at that. Great though. I mean, I'm mucking around. It's brilliant set design. It's really, really cool. Okay, so what did we get out of that? That was, and this is great because you've got these extra bits built in. So, hang on, I'm probably going to hit the wrong key there. 90 average, 146 max. Pretty good. Not too bad. So go back again. Here you go, got the details. So look, yeah, so that was pretty good. Average CPU, 1440, 60 hertz. It'd be interesting. See, I'm using FSR on an NVIDIA card. So the thing to do now is go back in, go down, and change it to, let's have a look. Let's change it to DLSS. See what happens. Okay. And put frame gen on 2. Path tracing to put it on. I know, I just think I didn't got this far because it was exploding. Here we go, watch. Now I don't think I can move the cursor. Well, something was going on here. Yep. So I lost the plot for a minute. Bear with it, it'll come back. Yeah, something, it's just not happy. Not happy. Maybe the later driver update will cure it, and we're back in again. And it's gone again. Let's see what it does. I'm sure it's so slow I switched it. I literally ended the whole thing. Yeah, look at it, it's black. So you're going to get a lot of this weirdness. It gets through in the end. I can't remember if I was stabbing keys to get out of this. There we go. Exit game. Yeah. I'm out of there. Couldn't get out. Try again. Or did I leave it? Yeah, I think I left it. So yeah, so play with that at your own thingy. Anyway, off we go into one of my favourite games at the moment. This is a rather wonderful game. Helldivers 2. But you're just going to go through the beginning bit. If you've not seen it, I'm sure everybody has. If you don't own this, I would buy it. It's a phenomenal game. It's a lot of fun. And obviously, if you like Starship Troopers, this is the game for you. The whole sort of weird humour that went with that game. As you'll see from the beginning, if anybody's watched that film, the Paul Verhoeven movie, the whole very hilarious and sort of weird fascist sort of, the beginning of Starship Troopers, it's all the bugs, squishing bugs, isn't it? I mean, and this is all very similar. And they've really captured that sentiment, feeling really well. Democracy, or managed democracy as they call it, which I find quite amusing, which is basically fascism. Freedom doesn't come free. Brilliant. Great way to start the game. And that's the same as Starship Troopers, isn't it? Yeah, I think they did a thing with Casper Van Dien, who was in Starship Troopers, and some of the cast, and they got them to watch this, and they all really thoroughly enjoyed it, because it's got that humour, which is really cool. Basically, I mean, you can play this solo. I've played it a couple of times solo, but I think it's best as teams, I'd imagine, with voice. And there's some really funny stuff you can get up to in it, with dropping markers on things, and you can steer the pod to land on certain things. Every time I play this, I get killed a lot there. So yeah, let's get going. Totally gung-ho. Brilliant. Okay, so press any button, let's get into it. And then we'll go into have a quick look at the settings when I get there and see what we set up. Here we go, into yeah, got that. Into settings, let's have a look what we did. Options. So we're display, we're going to do, and we're going to stick on that. Let's try on that. Let's try, I've got render scale quality. Let's try 4K ultra quality. Let's leave it on 4K for the moment, and let it, oh yeah, frame limit, take the frame limit off, idiot. There we go. And then in graphics, I just think I've ramped everything up to maximum. Steam, yeah, defaults, because you've obviously loaded it on SteamOS, it thinks you're a Steam Deck, so you have to go through and change everything. So I think I put everything to everything maximum. See how we go on. Obviously, again, you can wind back on this if you don't get the frame rates you want. Up to you. Everybody goes about 60. It's great, but I mean, you don't think it's the end of the universe if you playing at around 40 or 50. That, everything. Anti-aliasing on, and then I think that's everything. Let's go for it. I bottled it. I went to 1440. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Probably, I mean, with those settings, I think it would have a bit of an issue at 4K. Let's see how it does it. So join the Galactic War. Choose the mission thing. I see it jerking there a little bit. It does to start off with, but when it's on the surface of the planet, it stopped doing that. And then we shoot off into space. Choose your location. Then you have to add your stratagems. Grab, do that, whatever. Let's get out the door. You see, I think it stutters again. There you go. A little bit of a stutter. But then it sort of catches itself up and it's okay. I mean, that wasn't a stutter, that was the pod launching. But here you go. I think this freezes a second. There you go. And then down to 6, up top left, you saw it went to 6 frames a second. Quite sure what that is. Could be a RAM thing, I don't know. And then we'll land. You can see the odd little bit there where it sort of jars, doesn't it? Yeah, there you go. And now we've landed. But once it's down, it's okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty steady at 90 frames a second, which isn't bad at all. So let's have a look around. What's going on? What's going on? Okay, bad guys over there. Go and have a look. Go and have a look. It's a shame you can't play the sound on these, but the music gets picked up by YouTube as like a copyright infringement. That's happened with Tomb Raider. The first time I put up a demo video with Tomb Raider, I thought, oh, I'll let the music play. And then the next thing I've got a flag, you can't monetize this video because you're using it. Anyway, here we go. Just take that dude out. And the moment I do this, we're going to get we're going to get a bot drop. Here we go. What's going on there? Oh. Here comes more bots. It's dropping off. I don't like the look of that. It's a big one. A grenade in there. I don't like the look of that big one. Shoot, what's going on there? Armour. I don't think I'm going to get killed here. I have a feeling I'm going to be killed quite soon. Yeah. Oh, get that guy. And that guy. Get that guy. Those robots are coming up behind me. Oops. Stem. Oh. Get that guy. Keep going, keep going. I'm going to get shot here. I feel imminent death. Can I use that gun? Enter turret? That'll help. No. Brilliant. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get out of there and see what else we've got. So I think I've got next up. Oh yeah, it's verifying the game. Next up, I think I did something to do. I did Homeworld. Yeah, I didn't realise Homeworld had a benchmark in it. And I thought, okay, let's have a look at it. Also to see if it works on Steam. It's Homeworld 3. If anybody's played any of the other two, this is okay. It's not as good as 1. I remember when 1 came out, blew my mind, and 2 was amazing. 3 is pretty good. They've changed a lot of it to try and modernise it, and it's become a little bit more tricky, you know, to do. I don't know. I mean, I haven't completed it yet. I will, but yeah, it's good. I mean, I think they had a lot of trouble in development. I think it can be the narrative isn't as good, or is it too much to do this? I don't know. Anyway, let's have a look. But basically, in the settings section, settings, video, I've got it 1440. Now, no matter how I set this up, I could not get it to get a higher frame rate than what you're about to see. You know, so go down. I've got HDR disabled. I've got an FSR2. Put that to DLSS, I think. Yep, here we go, DLSS. And then you can go run. And it's all on high and everything like that. And no matter what I do, I get the same benchmark result at the end of this on every single attempt to do it. So top, if you go in the left hand corner there, you've got 60, 70 frames per second, or whatever it is, 60 frames per second. And then what happens is, it does this, and you'll see it on this graph at the end. It can do all this stuff. And then as it comes around the back, it begins to go. I don't know why it does this. There you go, 30 frames a second, 30, 31. And I could not get it to maintain a higher frame rate. I've tried all sorts of stuff, you know. I did it in 1920 by 1080 and it wouldn't do it. Look, 30, it sort of fails. There, you see right at the end, it literally can't cope. There's something going on there. I don't know what that is. Possibly RAM. This isn't what it says RAM. So try it now on. Let's try it on. What did I do on FSR? That was on FSR. Apply DLSS now. What you can do though, you can run an auto detect that will potentially work out what your system should do it at. It doesn't do the blindest bit of difference with this. It literally will give you totally apply settings. It will give you the same results. This 60 down to 30 thing. Okay, here we go. Run the benchmark again. And you'll get, I think it's exactly the same. And there's more to find out here. There's things I need to work out. Something, or maybe it's a driver update or something like that. There's something going on here that I'm missing to get this to go a bit quicker. Here we go, 60, 60, 60, 50. And then as it goes around, it goes down, there it is, 35, 40, 29, and it drops right off. To do a 20 something in a moment. Is that a little bit faster? No, that's just as bad. It's literally as if nothing's changed between it. So I don't really know what's going on with that. There you go, same, exactly the same. Anyway, something to play with at a later date. Let's come out of that. Let's have a look at SPACEMARINE. SPACEMARINE's great game. You know, really difficult on the graphics, so you can, you know, chuck it. I think I did this at 1440p. I think I did it at maximum settings. I could at 1440, and you'll see it's taken a while. What's going on there? It's taking a while to come up. I'm sure I'll get there. Blimey, that took forever. That took forever. I don't know why. Maybe that's a first start thing. Not sure what that's about. Saber, come on. We know you made it. Together we advance. Okay, finally. I've already played this, so it should be all set up ready to go. I don't think there's any weird problems with this one. No, or maybe there was. It's a case-by-case basis, so hang on, let's have a look at settings. Video, we've got it on 1440, 5060, 1440, balanced, DLSS, frame gens times 2, and what we're going to do, we're going to pump that up to full whack. Oh, idiot. DLSS. Put that on frame gen. See if that works. I think I might. I don't think I need to do a restart for that. Is everything on high? Not enough video memory for the selected text. Jesus. Details high. I think that's maximum. I think that's as good as I can get it. Yeah. So let's get into that. It probably is going to be quite slow at that setting. That's quite... I don't think the 5060 Ti can really cope with that. Yeah, although it's one of those pauses where it didn't know what it was doing. That's what you have to watch out for this. It does these things. Some of these games on this with the NVIDIA, it does this moment where it wasn't quite sure what it sort of freezes. It's really weird. You have to do a lot of experimentation though with the NVIDIA one. You can't just click things and expect it to work. You have to just sort of have a play, measure it and go, okay, that's the right setting, and then wait potentially for another update to come out. And then you could, you know, test everything again to see if everything works properly. Here we go. Yeah, activate the orbital launcher. This is like, I have got past this when I played this when it first came out. You look at the speed up there, it's 25 frames per second, not great. That's not perfect, is it? Not really good. Yeah, motion blur's gone mad and it's quite steady. So let's change that. Let's go back in and make it 1440. See if we get some frames back. Obviously, yeah, I mean, I could come back on some of the quality settings. I mean, that's quite extreme. Continue what we got now, but 5040, there we go, it's better. Okay, I can't, this is the bit that is a bit tricky. I'll press the button, it does the thing, and then all the Tyranids, are they called Tyranids? I can't remember. Oh, is that Tyranids? That's not this game. That's another game. What are they called in this one? Gene Stealers? That's Space Hulk. Oh, I can't get so confused. There's so much Warhammer stuff out there. So all of a sudden, right, now it's like the thing fires, and now it's going to tell me to survive until activation is complete. And this is where all goes wrong. Now, look what comes out the bottom here. Yeah, and loads of these bad guys, loads of the things come out from the bottom. And I was thinking, if I could just stand here and lob grenades, I'd get rid of a lot of them. But as you'll see, I'm not sure if my that plan will work. Here we go. Come on, they come out in a second. I know it. There we go. And you can see the frame rate is only 30 frames a second. So much going on down there. Got those guys. Yeah, and then some for you. And then some for you. It just doesn't make any difference though. They get up and I get in trouble. And any minute now. There they are. Oh, completely not paying attention. And there's the big dude at the back. Okay. And I'm facing the wrong way with my sword. I'm getting attacked from behind. Having a go at him. Oh man, that's not going to work, is it? The keys are really weird on this. I haven't nailed it quite. It's either the mouse or something's going on. I don't quite get it sorted out. And when you switch to the sword, it doesn't swing. It points the wrong direction. I need to practice. Anyway, I'm dead. There you go. Good effort, Gavin. Yeah, mission aborted. Critical injuries. First you turn your back on the Emperor. Then you raise your arms against the sons of Dawn. Dawn know this. Whatever. Being told off. Anyway, let's get out of this. And I think we've got the last one coming up, if you stuck with it this long. The last one is Black Myth Wukong. Now, this is bizarre. I've actually installed the entire game on here. And basically, it doesn't work. The entire game doesn't work, but the benchmark does. So, just run the benchmark, 1440, and I'm going to turn that. I hate motion blur, so turn that off, and then in settings, if I can manage to navigate there, DLSS is on, but it won't do frame generation, and everything's on high. It will not do frame. If you try and click on frame gen, it won't do it. Okay, it won't do it. I'm going to have to Google that. There must be something I can do. Okay, so Can't do frame gen, so and here we go. What do we get with that? It's high, it's not cinematic. So a very playable 40 frames per second. .52. There we go. That's totally playable, isn't it? I mean, the problem is I can't get the game working. It keeps coming up with some wine bottle error type thing. But the benchmark works. That's great. So that's another side project to get the actual game working on my computer, as opposed to just the benchmarking tool. So off we go. I'll just let you enjoy the visuals. There we are, just coming up to the end. That's been running at 47. Now, what I'll do after this, I'll switch on ray tracing. And this is an NVIDIA, so you should be able to cope with it, but it's not going to. Because I've been this more tweaking. I'm going to have to look at this ray tracing on Bazzite. I'm sure that someone's mentioned it, that you can switch it on negative 48 frames a second. Ray tracing is off. Super resolution 75. Confirm. Now, I think I need to turn it off. I need to set ray tracing and then turn it off and start again. Settings, graphics, ray tracing on. I'm going to leave it on medium. And that's still not working. I don't know why I bothered to try that. Now you need to apply it, quit it, restart, and then you'll see again another issue with the ray tracing part. We'll relaunch it. Hope it'll come. Come on, come on, come on. I know they do these intros like this, they do this sort of stuff to build a feeling in the game and all that. But just bring on the titles. You don't need to like pause and do black screens. Just show us all the titles, get us to the game. Sorry, very impatient with all these things these days. Anyway, okay, let's benchmark this. Now remember, this has got ray tracing on now. So yeah, ray tracing is on medium, and this is going to kill it. And you can't turn that on. I'm sure I could run it on the AMD one. I'm sure I could do frame gen on the AMD, which you can't do on this. So benchmarks, confirm, and that's taking extra long. There you go, look at the frames in the top corner, 25. 25, is it even going to start? It's thinking about it. That's terrible, isn't it? What do we got? Red, 28. Yeah, that's atrocious. I think I have to come out of this. It's not worth running it all the way through. Take days. 33. So ray tracing, not great. Anyway, so that's it really. A load of benchmarks, me waffling on for ages. 5060 Ti as a Steam machine, you can do it. A bit flaky. I'd recommend using an AMD setup if you want to do this. It's much more, lots of caveats, gotchas on this. It's much, it's not easier, it just works. So yeah, there you go. 896 Dell, 8960 Dell with a Steam Deck and 5060 Ti. Anyway, thanks for watching.